small boat made of china. It's going sing. Still I hear the whisper. Cartoonish. The ground, round the winding stair. Stories carved out of wood, Chester and the king. Dancing through the moonlight, we began to sing. Still I hear the whisper. Cartoonish. Black and white, hide behind the glass. In the mirrors and the smoke, it's all fading fast. Written word, turn the card, winter into spring. Dancing through the Wedgwood, we began to sing.
So we were in one of the little kind of hobbit huts, I think of them as the little log cabins, which was right on the edge of Loch Linnhe. So first thing in the morning, absolutely beautiful views. It was a little bit overcast that morning, not quite so sunny, but really beautiful views directly out on the loch. Which just kind of set us off in the right mood for the day and kind of feeling quite bright as we went. We were a couple of miles from the ferry, which was a very tiny little ferry, sort of roll on, roll off, one that goes there and back in about 10 minutes. And which was a really nice start to the day because it kind of felt like you're going on holiday proper because you got on a ferry, and that took us over onto the Ardnamurchan Peninsula, which very fond memories of because the last time I went there was on our honeymoon, so that was great. I love that peninsula because the thing that strikes me as we're going down it more than anything else is just how much kind of flora there is. There's just so many more trees and bushes and things like that along there than there are in a lot of other areas of Scotland. You've still got the kind of craggy rocks and the beautiful kind of moss-covered rocks on the side, but you've just got so much more kind of trees and beautiful tree-lined roads. You know, the really narrow single track with kind of passing place kind of roads, but then tree-lined all the way down. So it's really, really beautiful down there. And again, as you're running down, all the way down, you've got the loch on your side. Only problem I had is I nearly came off the road a couple of times because I was so busy trying to look for seals and otters that I, you know, kept getting distracted and looking over to the side, nearly crashing. But it was really gorgeous, and it was a bit overcast, but the sun was coming out a little bit, so lovely. Lots of twisty corners. So we've got a really lovely rhythm of, like, I don't know, it's almost like slalom racing going along there, just twisting side to side. It was beautiful. So nice. So we cut across the peninsula, went over the top, which was some beautiful scenery, to get to Mallaig, which is where we were about to get the ferry to Skye. And we, again, pretty quickly rolled onto the ferry, if I remember rightly. Interesting ferry. We hit... I had to drive right to the very front, and then it was a vertical kind of front, so it was a bit weird, driving right up to essentially a wall. And it was a bit scary that we were going to come off the other side, but... yeah, that was really funky. And we had time on that one to go upstairs and kind of have a look around and stuff, which was really nice. And then over onto Skye, and the weather was glorious once we got onto Skye. James was so excited as well when we were on the ferry. It was lovely. I think first proper ferry ride, and also heading back to Skye, he was just really, really excited. So that was lovely. And then kind of run up through Skye, which was a kind of decent run up through Skye before we got to the place we were staying that night. Again, lots of beautiful, big, curvy roads that you could really get into nice, smooth riding all the way along. It was amazing. So beautiful. And then we ended up the night in the old Skye Inn. So I think it was the old Skye Inn, which was a place that James has very strong memories of. Some kind of hostel, but it's lovely. And then the bit that I really liked, it's right next to a really lovely little pub. So we went into the pub. We had a bit of time in the evening, actually, so I managed to find myself a little nook out on the balcony with my book, overlooking the loch, and just sat there for a while. And then I went down and picked up a load of sea glass, so it was lovely. I got really nice kind of making things out of that. You've got real memories of it. And then kind of settled into the really cosy little pub for a kind of meal and so on before we settled down for that night. So it was such a relaxing place. I think we all had a really nice time kind of sat chatting outside on that balcony. There was a little, almost like a kind of captain's overlook that you get on pirate ships that overlooked from the hostel down onto the loch. So we all stood out there for a while and chatted, and it was lovely. Really nice, beautiful day, beautiful riding, glorious sunshine and glorious weather, really. Glorious scenery. So yeah, fabulous day.